Hi Sagittarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for August 2016, and it's always good news for a fire sign like yours to have the sun going into another fire sign, which is what's happening at the moment. The sun's in Leo. So Leo is a fixed fire sign, you're a mutable fire sign, so you can be quite flexible and versatile. Leos tend to be more, fixed and very determined, but quite even intractable sometimes, which is good if you need somebody that's not a quitter. Your sign is more of a kind of ducking and diving, mutable sign. It depends on how many planets you've got in mutable signs, of course, in your natal chart, but just on the subject of the sun in Sagittarius. But Sagittarius is always given a boost when the sun is in a fellow fire sign. Now, of course, you do have Saturn in your sign at the moment, so just a word about that. Saturn's going to remain in your sign until the end of 2017, went in there at the end of 2014. And that means all sorts of scenarios and conditions around you will help you to learn how best to take your responsibilities more seriously, how to work maybe sometimes under a bit of pressure, or maybe even having to push back against the opinions or the expectations around you in order to get it right about what you need to do for yourself now. Because with Saturn, the planet of responsibility, and building a new structure in your sign, it means that now is the time. You can't procrastinate any longer. You've actually got to try and go for those things which you would like to build up for yourself personally. It's quite, about self here in your life. Now, of course, no man is an island, or indeed woman. Although I actually think we are in lots of ways. However, we're made up of the same stuff as all the other land masses and the islands around. So we have lots in common, far more in common with the other islands or the other continents than what divides us. However, position of Neptune at the moment is also highly important, because it means that you have to find a way to be there for others in a supportive way, putting your own desires on one side, right at the root of your life. So that could involve property, that could involve your space inside, outside, that could involve location on the map, it could involve family and family members, very much so, family and family members. So you have to figure out a way to take this seriously, this responsibility you've now got to take for yourself and your life, and what's nearest and dearest to your heart in many ways, and your ambitions in life, at the same time as being a facilitator, an enabler maybe for others related to you, maybe family or extended family or neighborhood, or to do with property matters. Also to do with parents, which of course is family, and a legacy from long ago, like the history, and honoring that. But you have to try and tread the fine line, because you have also got to be here for yourself as well. Only you can live your life. Everybody else is too busy living theirs. Nobody's going to live your life for you. And you wouldn't want that anyway, really, because, this is your shot at incarnation. This is your shot at having the mega, marvelous experience. But it can sometimes feel hard going. So every now and again, this is going to be going on for you. At the moment, Sagittarians born the 30th of November to the 2nd of December, or with 9 to 11 degrees rising, are going to feel the energy of Saturn the most. And you've got to learn now to concentrate really strongly onto specific targets. Streamline maybe, cut away the fluff and get going with those specific things. Don't be spread thin, and let everybody have a piece of you. if that's what you've been doing. So this is a time for doing this, and this comes around once every 29, 30 years. You could look back actually about 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years, or you could look back maybe 14, 15 years and see something that was begun then, which you're picking up on, and maybe you're harvesting the result of that, or aspects of that now. So we do have this transit in the sky at the moment, Saturn, Neptune, and this is something to pay attention to, because these two planets hold pivotal, critical positions transiting through your sun sign chart at the moment. So there will be harder work in order to clarify things and get organized so as to make the decisions as to how to move forwards in a confident way. But there will be a denial of clarity. There always tends to be with Saturn, Neptune, and a fearing of the worst. Fearing of the worst, but probably being a positive sign, you're hoping for the best. But likely that the worst won't happen, likely that the very best won't happen. However, there's no absolute guarantee either way. But it's very, very likely that, I should put that another way actually, it's very, very likely that things that you fear the most, that have been painted by others, are, you know, not likely to happen in the way they've been portrayed at all. So not to get too trapped in a corner of doom and gloom according to somebody else's narrative. That would not be good at the moment. So there are deep changes going on within you. Family may need extra support, or may need you to put aside something that you personally would prefer in order to enable them in some way. Go with the flow. On the one hand, you can be idealistic about the home base, your sacred space, which you must have, especially with this transit of Neptune, 1000%, in whatever way you can find it, however you can organize it in a sort of like on a weekly schedule, is to get that special sacred space for yourself. Because you need to be able to let go and drift. Then we've got Saturn in the mix, so now you have to wake up to certain realities of the situation and be practical with that vision. So how do I apply things where it's good for me to build for my future, it's good for me to build for myself, because that's where Saturn is, it's in your sign. Figure out the mechanics of things, how it can all be managed. There's going to be some confusion for a while. We've got this Neptune-Saturn thing going on until very early October. If Saturn is close by degree, Saturn, Neptune, and they're very close to each other at the moment, so those dates I gave and those degrees I gave will be affecting you with the sun in Sagittarius there, or indeed if you've got a sensitive point or planets there, it will be affecting those. Now Mars is about to move back into your sign. Mars is gone, if you're listening to this in July, Mars is currently backwards into Scorpio, meaning that your energies are damped down. There's a lot maybe going on inside of you. This is time for preparation. This is a time for meditation. This is a time for calm contemplation. This is a time for getting the treatments that you need, if you need any. This is the time for linking with your angels, your guides, your family, and your team that works with you in the invisible realms beyond. This is a great time for it. This is a time to work with your imagination. This is a time for healing. This is a time for nurturing. This is a time for being able to go to that sacred space I was talking about and tuck yourself away. From the 3rd of August, Mars comes back into your sign. Mars has been in and out for a while, but Mars comes back into your sign for about 6 weeks. And that's the time to get more dynamic. That's the time to take the decisions now. Take action. It brings more hustle and bustle, more demand on your energy as well. So you've got to keep up. You've got to keep up with what's going on. More stamina may be needed, but vitality does tend to improve. And whether you like it or not, the goals and objectives just seem to be more obvious. Whereas before, i.e. now, if this is July for you, it's like, well, maybe this, maybe that. And also, of course, Saturn, Neptune is the double whammy on that kind of ambiguity, that vague kind of ness. So you have to go to the Saturn side of things and say, okay, what do I know I need to improve? What do I know I need to build for myself? What foundations do I need here? Let's be practical. And it's a lot harder to be practical actually with Neptune around. And also at the moment you've got Mars in the sign before yours, which is very Neptunian anyway, not the sign, but the position is very, very Neptunian. So you've got a double whammy of Neptune going on. However, great time for preparation, great time to beaver away behind the scenes on something, listening to your guidance, being imaginative, great time for that. And for healing practices as well. For yourself or somebody else, you having to be there more for others. That's another thing going on at the moment. So again, you having to step out and step up to the plate more than you really feel like doing a lot of the time with Mars in the sign before yours. Mars comes out of the sign before yours, that's Scorpio, on the 3rd of August. And then this is time for decisions. This is time to go for the goals and objectives and just keep up, because those goals and objectives will suddenly be staring you in the face, and decision time, you see. So Mars is about initiating things, and whether you choose it or not, you've got to be more dynamic and physically active. So you just get plunged into situations which demand assertiveness, more assertiveness. Now, even though Mars tends to boost vitality, be aware that Mars, I'm always saying, can run you ragged. So try to pace yourself. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And take some downtime. Always take the downtime. Work in a smart kind of way, or use your time in a smart kind of way. Customize things to suit yourself, because you're in this longer phase of Saturn in your sign, which comes around once every nearly 30 years. So depending on your age, it might be the first one or it might be the third one. Let me see. I'm going to be very, 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 very old if I get another one. So, because I've got one at the moment as well. Now, this is your opportunity to get on with whatever program you need to improve things for yourself. So if it's about health, you go that route. If it's about, oh, well, I don't want to waste time speculating on what it could be about, but you get the gist of this. Mars doesn't like hanging around, so you shouldn't procrastinate, but you also shouldn't be hasty and dive in head first without thinking things through. And all of those words of caution that I would give you. Now, what else is going on is that the Sun is actually in a very outgoing, expansive sort of area, great for travel, great for connecting with people abroad, whether you travel there or not, people, at a distance, or indeed just enrolling in something to learn something, great for study, great for training. And it's a good time to get out and about more. Just get out and about more into different sorts of places and rub shoulders with new people. This would be good. Mercury is expanding. Mercury is not expanding your mind. Actually, Mercury at the moment is meaning that you have to be thinking about goals and targets and ambitions, and maybe having to deal with people in authority a little bit more, people in positions of power, officials and bureaucracy, and you are very much having conversations with or exchanging paperwork with or indeed having conversations or paperwork about that side of life. And then we have Venus up until the 6th in a very warm, supportive, place for you, Sagittarius, connecting with abroad, connecting with lands beyond, support, feeling of support coming from somebody far away, somebody who's an expert, somebody who's got a real strong expertise. That would be good with Venus here. And that's up until the 6th. So if you're listening to this in July, then that's already going on. Then from the 6th, Venus tends to help create more favorable circumstances with those in positions to help you, those in positions of authority, in positions of power, who have an expertise maybe, who are, you know, officials, that kind of thing. And you feel that you get this enabling from them in whatever degree, depending on what else is going on in your chart. Because believe you me, sun sign astrology, or any astrology, is not one size fits all, but especially sun sign astrology. So it depends on various factors how well you're going to be able to play the card of any of the planets at any given moment, right? Okay, so then we have Venus there, which means you could possibly get an ally, with somebody who's got the authority or the power to help you in whichever way. Now the sun moves on the 23rd. And then we have targets and overall direction being more the center of your attention, authority figures, parental figures as well. I should have said that over the whole of the month. And then we have Jupiter, of course, in your area of career. That's just about to change signs. Early next month, it'll change signs, early September. So this means more doors swinging open at the moment in your area of career, or if it wasn't like that for you, in your general life direction. And it means that you could now grab an opportunity, grab a chance to make a change, or somebody hands you something on a silver platter, as it were, to make a change, and you could be puzzling over which is the best way to go. It's likely you could gain more recognition and be learning new things professionally. You Sagittarians born the 12th to the 20th December, or with 21 to 29 degrees rising, are to feel that energy the most. You should begin to feel established and comfortable in in new circumstances related to your image in the world, to your career, or to your general life direction. And just to say that you Sagittarians born the 30th of November to the 3rd of December, I think I gave you this nearly the same before actually, or 9 to 12 degrees rising, going to feel the energy of Neptune the most. So we've got Saturn at 9 to 11 degrees and Neptune at 9 to 12 degrees. So they're almost exactly the same. And that's it for August. Oh no, and I must mention to you that maybe it's not ideal to go starting anything majorly important when Mars and the Sun go over Saturn, or they all go over each other, and that will be between the 21st and the 26th of this month. And also, just a word in your ear, on the 5th and the 6th and the 12th and the 13th, you might have more on your mind, or have to watch your P's and Q's in a more formal sort of kind of interaction with somebody in partnership, or somebody that you're working with, or somebody's working for you on the 12th and the 13th. And other than that, that's it for August. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, you can listen to those, and also check out this material on DianaGarland.com. I'm hoping you will find it there. And I'll see you the next time.